repeat, let's build a dream. From the waves and the stars and the sunbeam gleam. 1,000 hands, 1,000 arms. We'll bring back the ocean like it was before. History whispers, can you hear it shout? The winds are loud and it's calling out. 500 sails on the open blue, riding the tides like the ancients do. 500 sails with a story to tell of courage and heart where the oceans swell. He laughed loud, said, count me in. Let's chart the course where the waves begin. The pros dance where the sea meets sky. The spirit lives, it will never die. The horizon stretches like a drawn-out dream, and the past comes alive in the sunlight's gleam. 500 sails on the open blue, riding the tides like the ancients do. 500 sails with a story to tell of courage and heart where the oceans swell.
Good morning, Marianas. Hey, don't worry about that voice. I think we're going to be just fine. Hey, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to get to it in just a little bit. We got a guest in studio. We got all kinds of stuff, but let's get you the news from the Associated Press.
AP News. I'm Ed Donahue. Stocks are sharply lower at the close because of high oil prices because of the war in Iran. The first cabinet member in the second Trump term to leave is Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Her firing was announced on social media by President Trump as Noem was speaking to a group in Nashville.
He will have a big agreement that I'll be there with him on Saturday with the Department of War and the Department of State on how we're going to go after cartels and drug trafficking in the entire Western Hemisphere.
Noem's departure caps a tumultuous tenure overseeing immigration enforcement tactics that have been met with protests and lawsuits. The president's pick to replace Noem is Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. His plan to deal with Democrats.
All I can do is do my job. And so I'm not going to get in the, a tit for tat, but if they have real concerns, I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to see if it's practical. but nothing's going to prevent me from doing my job. I'm going to enforce the policies and the laws that Congress has passed, and we're going to protect our homeland.
The president says he'll make Nome a special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a new security initiative that he said would focus on the Western Hemisphere. This is House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
Kristi Noem is a disgrace, and we made clear what was going to happen. One way or the other. It could happen the easy way or the hard way. He's chosen the easy way. But now we still have work that needs to be done in terms of the policy changes.
Israel's UN Ambassador Danny Danon says the war in Iran will not stop, at least not now.
We need to continue to hammer, to dismantle the capabilities, and then, to use diplomacy to ensure that they are not doing the same.
The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait shut down after retaliatory Iranian strikes on the country, becoming the second American diplomatic mission to fully halt work since the Iran war. Authorities say Britney Spears was arrested in Ventura County, California, and later released. This is AP News. The AP's Karen Chamas reports Ukraine is cooperating with Gulf states to help defend against Iranian strikes.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said the United States and its allies in the Middle East are seeking Ukraine's expertise in countering Iran's Shahed drones. Zelensky has said he's spoken in recent days with the leaders of the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan and Kuwait about possible cooperation. The EU's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has said Ukraine's help would be invaluable to Gulf countries.
And they have been really surprised how much Ukraine is helping them in this regard, keeping in mind that they are under heavy attacks all the time.
Russia has fired tens of thousands of Shaheds at Ukraine since it invaded its neighbor just over 4 years ago. Iran has responded with the same type of drones to joint US-Israeli strikes on Iranian targets. I'm Karen Chamas.
I'm Ed Donahue, AP News.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. The rhythm and soul, so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around.
is 7:41 on what day is it? Friday. That's right. You made it through the week. Today is a meat-free Friday. Otherwise, this would be my favorite special day over at Ina's Kitchen. Unless they got something going on that I don't know about. This is usually the day they got that pork, they got chicken, they got everything. Oh, man, I can't do it because it's Lent. But maybe they got a special fish Lent deal going on for the lunch special. I don't know. They got the same special all the time. If we can get a call from Sonny or any of the folks over at Ina's to let us know what the lunch special is over there through Lent, let me know. Let me know. And we'll go from that. So much to get to today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We got so much going on today. The stories that came out between yesterday morning and last night, and then this morning, boom, 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 boom. My gosh, I feel like their shots are coming all over the place, and it's just in time for Friday. We're just waiting for Lil Jon to start going, shot, 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 everybody. I mean, like, that's pretty much what's going on, if you think about it. Commissioner Marianas back in action at DPS. He got reinstated yesterday morning, and it was a pretty quiet notice, but he is back in there. We reached out to him and said, welcome back, and then we're looking forward to hearing more. They said they might be doing a press conference today, so if they do, we'll be there. We'll have it for you, so you get to hear from him, hear him talk about what was going on. Kind of like Blazing Saddle. What in the wild, wild world of sports is going on over here? That was kind of what the governor said when he got back to Saipan last Friday. But now both of the people who were removed by the lieutenant governor when he was in the acting position are back in. And wow, that is one thing that got started. What else happened? Well, we got good news from NBA yesterday. They're in the press conference right after our show. We head up the road to NBA, and we hear that Jeju and T-Way are sticking around. Now, there is going to be a little bit of a break for one of them, but only for like a month. They got some stuff to do, and it's just not us. They want to go see other people for about a month, and then they're coming back, so that's good. So hurrah for that. Then, we just had this big press conference on Wednesday. We hear all about the meeting going on with the gov, all the people, the high-ranking stuff, cabinet members. And then today, we find out, wait. Let's reel that back in. We hear about all the meetings and all that other stuff. We get the Flickr album with the governor and with DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Like, wow, that's such a big meeting. The next day, she's in Congress, and she's talking before a committee and saying that, hey, the CNMI Guam visa waiver program is a pretty good deal. The folks coming from China, they're just here to travel, and it's fine, and then that's it. And then the news that we got this morning, President Trump in his Trumpiness. Is that the way you say, like, your excellence or something like that? He posts in Truth Social, and when you do it, I don't have a Truth Social account, but you're still able to get it. He says, I'm pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, a great state, lots of vowels, Mark Wayne Mullen, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. That's DHS. Effective March 31st, 2026. The current Secretary, Kristi Noem, who served us well, some say amazing, and has had numerous spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. We're announcing Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Kristi for her services to the homeland. Serving 10 years in the United States. All right, I can't do it anymore. It's too much. Serving 10 years in the United States House of Representatives and 3 in the Senate, Mark Wayne has done a tremendous job representing the wonderful people of Oklahoma. Some say he just did okay. Should be here all week. Where I won all 77 out of 77 counties in 2016, 2020, and 2024. A MAGA warrior. Boy, this guy, he's our president, does not miss an opportunity to make it about him. And I appreciate that because I hear myself do it all the time and I try not to do it. I just made it about me. All right, hold on. A MAGA warrior and former undefeated professional MMA fighter, Mark Wayne. He does have a MMA fighter name. Truly gets along well with people and knows the wisdom and courage, good thing they're capitalized, required to advance, like JD apparently, our America First agenda as the only Native American in the Senate. Although he did call, all right, let's keep going. As the only Native American in the Senate, Mark Wayne is a fantastic advocate for the incredible tribal communities. Mark Wayne will work tirelessly to keep our borders secure, stop migrant crime, murderers, and other criminals from illegally entering our country, and the scourge of illegal drugs, and make America safe again. Mark Wayne will make a spectacular Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you for the attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. I'm telling you, the capitals are great. It is interesting. It was a day after she was in Congress, just days, plural, after meeting with our Chamber of Commerce, our delegation, our governor. She only met with the governor and the lobbyist from the business community, but they were just in there. Did she know about it? I don't know, but it's not like he just said, you're fired. No, he said she's going to be the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Does this mean we're getting the Avengers going? Did we just start S.H.I.E.L.D.? Holy crap. That would be awesome. We have the Avengers. I call Iron Man. I'll grow the goatee back if you let me do it. Special Envoy, by the way, sounds like a pretty cool title. I don't know exactly. Does that mean she's going to be the liaison between his office and S.H.I.E.L.D.? Everyone's going to start calling it S.H.I.E.L.D. I know it's called Shield of the Americas. It doesn't matter. People are going to call it S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel fans will. Hold on, let's see. It is amazing how quickly things change. Oh, so speaking of things changing, things change all the time at nminewsservice.com. The perfect time for you to go and check those news headlines all the time. I know. It's a cheap plug, but hey, this is what I do. Anyway, speaking of nminewsservice.com, let's go to it. We got these stories today. That's the live feed today. By the way, we're starting something new this week. I thought was pretty neat because it was such a busy week. We did like a wrap up of everything for the week where you could see all the headlines. Anyway, though, the story is pretty big. Again, we just did the story about Kristi Noem speaking in front of Congress yesterday because it happened while we were in our morning. Well, we reached out to our congresswoman and said, hey, what do you think about this? So she was actually in a meeting, but she sent us a statement, which was great. You can read the article here, the statement. Is the full statement in there? I think it's more storified, but the full statement that we got from the congresswoman was this. It says, the one thing you learn pretty quickly in Washington is that people and positions change all the time. That's just the nature of the job. Over the past several months, my office has spent a lot of time helping federal leaders understand the unique realities of the CNMI, especially how important tourism and travel policy are to our economy. We appreciate the opportunity to start that conversation with Secretary Noem and her team. Now, Senator Mullen is stepping into the role. And like every federal partner we work with, we'll take the time to make sure he understands our islands, our economy, and what these policies mean for our people. At the end of the day, the job doesn't change. My responsibility is to keep showing up and educating folks in Washington and keep advocating for the CNMI. And that's exactly what we'll continue to do. So why is this a big deal? Why do you think that people are going to make a real big deal about it? I mean, all that stuff sounds like kind of a big enough deal, right? But it got bigger because that's when we did the story about Rick Scott, because it wasn't just him. He ended up, there's 3 senators who ended up writing a letter to Kristi Noem to get rid of the Guam CNMI visa waiver program. Rick Scott's the one who actually introduced the bill. But Mark Wayne Mullen, you might have remembered his name before. Again, we follow these stories because that's what we do, right? We're news guys. But U.S. senators asked Department of Homeland to revoke CNMI visa waiver for Chinese nationals, and they cited birth tourism and security concerns. Now, the thing is, the stuff that they put in here that they cited was old news. Like, old news. Like 8 years old. And things have changed quite a bit since then. This was absolutely a problem that nobody in the mainland was paying attention to. Until like in the past 12 months, all of a sudden some guy from Wisconsin started paying attention and beating a drum about it. And then these guys write a letter to Kristi Noem in January, and they wrote it to the Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum, saying, hey, you need to stop this. Who were they? Rick Scott, Jim Banks, and Mark Wayne Mullen. Also, white people, you need to stop making fun of black people names. If you're going to name people Mark Wayne. That's just it. You can't make fun of Shaniqua if you're naming people Mark Wayne. That's just it. It's even. Everybody names people weird names. That's it. 100%. It's over. Just like your reign in the NBA. Hey, wait. I know the dunk competition. I'm just saying. That's it. So let's go on to this. Keep talking about this. But now, one of the signatories of this letter to end EVS TAP, the CNMI Economic Vitality and Security Travel Authorization Program. One of the signatories for this letter to the Homeland Security Secretary in 25 days is going to be the Homeland Security Secretary. How do you think that's going to affect the CNMI? You got 3 weeks, Marianas. 3.5. Get to work. For real. A real though. For real. That is going to be a big deal. I'm telling you, it's going to be a big thing, and it's going to happen fast. CNMI visa waiver program. Now, you heard from our Congresswoman in that statement. She's like, hey, new person in the same position. We got to get in there and talk to them and let them know what's going on. Now, she's done a great job with her colleagues in the House, but she's got to get over to the Senate side now. And I'll tell you that this is like when late Governor Palacios had the 902 talks with Biden's team at the end of that term. And then the election happens, and you know it's a brand new game. Like all that stuff, you had to restart it. Because all those appointees, a lot of those same people were going to be changed out. Well, now you're going to have to do the same thing here. You have to start from scratch. It really, to give you like the military correlation to this, right? You've got a new commander for Joint Region Marianas or Joint Task Force Micronesia every 2 years. You have to start from scratch with everyone who rolls in here. Once in a while, you get like an Admiral Manoni who was stationed out here. But you got to tell them about the culture and the significance of land and water. You got to start from scratch about that. Like, why don't they just, no, you can't. The reason why people don't just go along with that stuff is because they got to know, you got to know about it. You have to know what the ongoing conversation is over the years. Anyway, so they're going to have to do this again. The CNMI is going to have to try to get in there. They're going to have to find out who's close to this guy so they can get in. that's totally what this is going to be about. And it's so funny because we were talking with our friends from Oklahoma. Oklahoma. I know Pee-wee's Big Adventure. About doing some kind of a collaboration, like for a show. And it was going to be because this was the genesis of it, about Mark Wayne Mullen and writing this letter. But now that he's going to be Homeland Security Secretary, that's pretty heavy. I mean, that is really a big move. And think about that. You're going to go from a position where you're elected by your state to a place where you're just appointed and you serve at the pleasure of the president, who changed people a lot. He moves people in and out like nothing. I don't know. What an honor to become a cabinet member, but would you give up your job in Congress? I wouldn't. I would maybe give up my job doing the NMI News Service if I was named Homeland Security Secretary. Also, that would be a terrible move. I don't know, Brad. You seem to be pretty good. Okay, no, Mr. President, not a good idea. We'll bring you over there. We'll fly you. I'll bring you on Trump Air. We'll give you Trump steaks. Okay, wow, you have me at Trump steaks. They may have been bankrupt. Okay, well, it's all right. Sorry. I'll eat some bankrupt steaks. All right, let me check you guys real quick. We're going to be taking a break in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, Caleb says, we need you to do 903. I love it. That sounds great. By the way, before we take this break, at 9:03, it's really going to be at 9 o'clock. If you guys are available today, if you aren't working, if you're off today, or if you could take a break from work, if you want to be a part of something very special, this is going to be a great one. The folks from the Centers for Living Independently, the folks up there on Capitol Hill who are making real difference in the lives of folks with all kinds of special needs in the Marianas. They are hosting their walk and roll this morning from Quartermaster Tank, and they're going to come all the way down this way to the AK intersection, the old AK intersection. It's wonderful. Now they are taking pledges. So if you can contribute to them and do some kind of a donation, they will take it. But I'll tell you what, going out there, honk the horn, get them smiling and waving and all that stuff. It'll be great. We're going to leave here a little bit early just so we can join them. The only thing that'll prevent us from joining them this morning is if the press conference is called at DPS. I know because we got a message this morning that there may be one this morning. And if that happens, we're going to have to run down the DPS and do the press conference and bring it to you live. But it's going to be something nice. You're going to love it. It'll fill your cup today. It'll make you feel all warm and fuzzy, spending some time with the folks from the Center for Living Independently, all the folks who work there, all the consumers who are the beneficiary of their service. If you can make it, that's going to be at 9 o'clock over at Quartermaster Tank today. You're not going to want to miss that. All right, getting back to your comments real quick. Bruce Camacho's laughing it up over there. It must be something stupid I said. I know. Piling Gazetmo's in the house. I got a great song for him. He says, good morning, Pari, Eric, Mafnas, and Zanprimun. Tobat Castro. Tobat Castro is the man. I'm telling you that. Ignacio de la Cruz. Good morning, Sinamai, is what he's saying. Good morning to you, Ignacio. Thanks for joining us today. He's over on the Facebook side today, not on YouTube. Interesting. Welcome to the dark side. Who else do we got out there today? Eric Mofnas. Speaking of Eric Mofnas, he is the man. He says, good Friday morning, Brad, CNMI, and everyone listening to this wonderful station. TGIF. Have a blessed and safe day and weekend. Take care, and God bless you and your family. Drive safely and buckle up. That's right. Luisa Cabrera is in the house. She's making sandwich and charaguaca. Awesome. I love it. Bruce, I know you're talking about Christy. I'm saying she needs an eye patch. That would work. She would, I could see her doing that for Halloween. It could work. Did we do this one? I got to look at this one. I don't remember doing the story, Ray Kitqua, but thanks for, I will check that later about the Article 12 stuff with the Catholic Church. I know you mentioned it before on the phone call, which is great. And that sounds like a topic for us. That's an interesting conversation for sure. Joe Biden had to cut it short this morning because he's got to go out there and get some business, which is great. Luta Mariana says, good morning, Brad, and good morning, Marianas. Great to see you. Richard Lazama, he's heading up to the Tacoma Dome. He might be there by now, actually. Ray Jolene Kumoy Areola, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today. T. Sammy Sablon in the house. Great to see you as well. Now, I know that some of you guys jumped in a little bit earlier, but when we couldn't get to you right away because we were on a roll right from the beginning. Yeah, baseball this weekend is going to be rough with all that rain, and we're going to hear a lot about that. Landon Idlet is going to be here in about 20 minutes. He's over at KKMP right now, so he was on the radio in Guam just before that, but he's here in Saipan. He's going to make his way up here, and then he's going to join us for that walk. That's going to be pretty cool. And Atao, great to see you this morning. So thanks so much for joining us and for commenting. You know, by the way, in case you guys are new to the show or you don't watch it, if you haven't already followed us, please do. And also give this, like every time we do a show, like the show. You can give us a like, a comment that could say, hey, good morning, Brad. It could also say, Brad, you're full of it. I'll take it. You know, you got it. It's great. And looking forward to seeing all those comments and reactions out there as well. You can also call the show. This is your show. You can give us a ring. Today and every day when we do the show, 670-789-2323. That's 789 Michael Jordan. And you can call us. You can WhatsApp call us too. If you're long distance, you don't want to spend the money, that's a problema. You can WhatsApp that. There you go. And Martin Cepeda, good morning. Thanks for joining us today. PJ Victoria is here also from Seattle. Christina Hookug's here. She says, good morning, CNMI, coming from Arizona, all the way out there in Phoenix. Or Pahonix. Okay, I know. All right, guys. We do have a real quick break, and then we got some news for you, and then we're going to get back to these headlines because they are massive. Have you spent on gas yet today? Ooh, it went up again last night. It's almost up 50 cents. It's almost up 50 cents over at Mobile. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Last night, people were lined up all over the place. And Louisa coming through in the clutch is why I'm laughing. She says, you are full of it, Brad. Full of coffee. I love it. Thank you. You are the best. By the way, Louisa, I got a plan for you today. It's not that you have to do it today, but I got a plan for you. We're going to have a conversation. It's a good one. And Sablixin08, great to see you. Says, Buenas Lesur, CNMI, Brad, and NMI News. Fam Gangs, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Hey, we're not going anywhere, but we are taking a real quick break. You got to support our sponsors. They take care of us. The reason why we're able to bring you the news and do all the stuff that we do throughout the day and late into the night, believe me, is thanks to our sponsors. So give them some love, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey, bro, can I? Yeah, man, go for it. Right on. Thanks, bro. Hey, bro, can I grab your bush too? Sure, bro. Go ahead. Thanks.
Now I can grab my own bush. Saipan, it's time to grab your bush. Pick up a 12-pack of ice-cold bush, and you're in for more than just a refreshing beer. Every 12-pack gives you a chance to win exclusive bush gear and more. So don't wait. Swing by your favorite store, grab your bush, and join the fun. Because here in Saipan, the best moments are even better with Bush. Grab your bush today.
If you think girls and women's equality matter, stand up. If girls and women's sports matter, and you want your daughters to have the same opportunity you had, stand up. If you know that it isn't fair or safe to allow males to compete in girls' sports, because it's, well, obvious. Stand up. Don't be cowed by people who call you a bigot. You're not a bigot. Don't let men tell us how to be good girls. Don't let others tell you you just need to be quiet. Sit down. Be nice. It's not nice to further a lie. It's not mean to believe in women's equality. We deserve our own sports, privacy, fairness, safety. We deserve a chance to compete and win. So don't be nice. Don't be careful. Be honest. Be brave. Fight for women. We've come too far to give up now.
And if you agree with that, stand up and stand with us.
Shiny smiles all around, where happiness is found. It's the little things that make it true. Shiny smiles start with you.
Fox Sports Update.
College football has lost a legend of the game. Lou Holtz, the iconic head coach who led Notre Dame to the 1988 national title, has died at the age of 89. Holtz spent 33 years as a head coach at the college level, leading William & Mary, North Carolina State, Arkansas, Minnesota, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. Best known for his time with the Fighting Irish, Holtz had 100 wins over 11 seasons in South Bend.
From 1986 to 1996, Holtz led the Fighting Irish to the college football mountaintop. With 100 wins, a national title, and a 23-game win streak, he became a legend in the annals of sports.
That was courtesy of Notre Dame Athletics. After his coaching career, Holtz moved into television, and he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Donald Trump in 2020.
This is Ainsley Earhart. Thank you for joining me for the 52-episode podcast series, The Life of Jesus.
A listening experience that will provide hope, comfort, and understanding of the greatest story ever told. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
In NBA scores, the Knicks and Thunder faced off at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, and the defending champs held on for a victory. The Thunder beat the Knicks 103-100, with New York failing to convert on two potential game-tying threes at the end of the fourth.
Three-pointer won't go. Rebound tip taken by Anunoby. Anunoby puts it up. Short. And the Thunder hold on and win here at the Garden.
Sound courtesy of ESPN, as Oklahoma City was led by Chet Holmgren, who had 28 points and tied a career high with 6 three-pointers. With the win, the Thunder have now won 7 of their last 8, and the Knicks saw their 3-game winning streak snapped. In NFL news, Browns star Myles Garrett was issued a citation for speeding last month, according to court records. It is the 9th time Garrett has been ticketed for speeding since entering the league in 2017. Garrett, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, was going 94 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone in Northeast Ohio when he was pulled over in February. For more scores, stories, and features, go to foxsports.com. I'm Joe Morgan.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
Are you or someone you know living with a mental illness? Have you experienced abuse or neglect, denial of services, or discrimination because of a mental illness or disability? You have rights. NM Posse is the Northern Marianas Protection and Advocacy Systems Incorporated, and we're here for you. Individuals diagnosed with mental illness have human, civil, and legal rights under federal and local law. No one should be mistreated, denied services, or discriminated against because of a disability. NM Posse's PIME program provides protection and advocacy for individuals with mental illness and provides information about your rights, advocacy and assistance for eligible individuals, and support in cases involving abuse, neglect, or discrimination. Services are confidential and provided at no cost to eligible individuals. To learn more, call NM Posse today at 235-7273 or 7274, or email gborja@nmpasi.org.
Alarm clock bark, sky still gray, radio clicks on, static haze. Good morning, Marianas, in my face. Brad yelling, wake up, Saipan, no escape. Coffee burns my lip, he laughs in my kitchen. Talks like he knows every bruise that I am in. Good morning, Marianas. Rise up, Saipan. Hearts on the harbor, headlines in his hand. Good morning, Marianas. Life from the reef to the ridge. Bread with the weather and a dare on the bridge. Traffic on Beach Road, kids half dressed. He jokes about rain and unpaid rent. Says call the show, tell me what you regret. Then plays our song like a second chance bet. He says, say your name, we say it like a prayer. Through busted speakers, we are almost there. Good morning, Marianas. Rise up, Saipan. Shacks and condos, all sing with the fan. Good morning, Marianas. Old scars, new daylight. Brad talks nonsense, somehow gets it right. Is keeping score of every tired island soul, dragged out of bed. Every maybe I will make it, spinning in my head. Good morning, Marianas. Rise up, Saipan. Bad roads, good stories, all part of the plan. Good morning, Marianas. Yeah, shout it again. Brad says you are awake, so start living it then.
All right, Marianas, you could hear that call that was coming in. We ended up taking it, or messaging our buddy. And so we're going to give him a call back right now. I messaged just to make sure. I'm like, hey, did you mean to call for the show? Let me just ask video or voice, just so we can get him on there for sure, so he knows what he's getting into. That's the main thing. I don't want to throw people onto the air if they don't know what they're getting into. I feel like it's not fair. So we'll see. I'm asking him video or voice right now. This is going to be an interesting morning. Let's see what he's got. Either. All right, let's go video. We're going to video this up real quick. And we're going to have to do the old share screen here. We're going to get him on. Just hold on one second. I got to make sure that I got the right setting so you're able to hear us. And holy cow, there he is. Now I got to get you on full screen. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. You're coming off my phone. I've got the YouTube up, but I've got it on mute. So I assume I'm a couple seconds behind.
Awesome. You know, I've seen other people pull it off before, but I've never seen people wear on the show where they're wearing a shirt that's got their face on it. And I think that's really great.
That is hilarious.
Thanks for joining us. By the way, this is Angelo Villagomez, ladies and gentlemen. He is the man, the myth, and the legend. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, so am I on? Like I'm live? Like
you are on. You are live. That's what you are 100% on right now.
Well, it is Thursday night here in Washington, D.C. I just took my wife to the airport. She's going to the Philippines for a couple of weeks, and I am a bachelor for a couple of weeks. But I have this email that I just got, and I wanted to call you and see if you had any recommendations on somebody that I could recommend. Now, this is an email from a major American newspaper. And they are writing a story about what it means to be an American in the U.S. territories, what life is like, whether people feel connected to the U.S., how they might be impacted by current events like the war in Iran. I'm reading the email.
Okay.
And she wants to chat from somebody from CNMI. Who should I recommend?
There's so many.
This major American newspaper is going to interview somebody from each of the 5 U.S. territories, and who is that person in the CNMI that I should recommend?
Oh, it's not you?
No, it's not. No. This is a major newspaper. It's a reporter reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you recommend some names?" And I thought I'd call you on the show and see what you thought.
Oh,
well, I mean, clearly the first is Brad Rizal. I mean, right? Without question.
I think it's America's choice. That would be fun. I would enjoy it for sure. But I would think it just depends on what kind of perspective you want to give. But that would be awesome. I would do it. By the way, that reminds me of the guy. God, what was the name? The guy who did the book, the Not Quite 50 States of America.
Doug. His name was Doug.
Yes. That was an awesome experience, by the way, with that and then getting on that book.
Yeah, you're famous. You're in a book. You are history. You should tell your kids that.
Yeah, I am history. I have 2 copies of that book.
Cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And but just one of the cool things that happened in Saipan. You know, Saipan is a magical place.
Well, anyways, I thought this might be just like a fun idea. who are we've got some people who write letters to the editor and the Marianas Variety every once in a while.
Ambrose Bennett.
And they might be really exciting, or which politicians are really inspiring, or who's the most famous person from Saipan. Who are our local celebrities?
Yeah, I think, wouldn't it be great if our sole representative was someone who's been saying it for years?
That would be such a good representative.
I love it.
It would be common sense if we did that.
For true.
Common sense. Been saying it for years.
Oh my God. By the way, that was still, of all those blogs and all that other stuff, that was still the best blog was Tropical Ambrose. It was my favorite. And it was all you have to do is nothing. You just have to post all those letters that go out there. And it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Anyway, by the way, while we're talking, I am finding out a better way to frame this stuff up. Because when you do that vertical one, it's not that side by side.
Yeah,
anyway, we got it now. Now it looks a little bit better, but it's still not great. I need to work on that. I'm going to have a template that's just for people who do the vertical call stuff.
Oh, I mean, I could just go like this too.
Oh no, now
I'm sideways. I just ruined it.
It would actually work. So I know how to. I could react to that. That would actually work.
That's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we got it good here. And
all right, well.
Hey,
I'll recommend your name.
Well, thank you. That would be awesome. While we got you, you saw the news about Kristi Noem?
I did. It's wild. And I just saw the pictures of the governor and the Republican lobbyist guy, Jason, sitting down with her. That's a really difficult meeting to get. Is a meeting with, and it just sucks that, right after you have the meeting and. I saw she testified in Congress, and actually, it sounded like she had heard what the governor had to say, and was taking that conversation under consideration. And I saw Delegate Kim's response saying that it's the job, not the person. Mm-hmm. And I just for our sakes, for the island's sake, I hope that's the case. But it just goes to show you, government can change on a dime. And a lot of this stuff is about personal relationships, right?
Yeah. Well, now she's becoming a member of SHIELD.
I saw, yeah. Oh, it's so like that. That's not even a position that exists. Like they just invented it. It's kind of like the FIFA Peace Prize. It's like they're just inventing things. And giving people awards.
Would you
giving
turn it
people
down?
Jobs that don't exist.
Would you turn it down if you were offered / created the FIFA Peace Prize?
I mean, probably not. I mean, it was a pretty nice trophy. It would look great next to my television.
It would look great.
Let me ask you this: are you still plugged into the CNMI soccer stuff? Because I heard there was a tournament happening in Puerto Rico, and Guam and American Samoa are going to go play, and it's 4 of the 5 territories are playing in a soccer tournament, and CNMI is the only one who's not going. And I was wondering why we didn't go.
I didn't know about it, but that is a great news question to ask the folks over there.
I will send you the link because as with everything, it came into my WhatsApp.
Nice.
People are like, "Hey, we should watch this game."
Wow, that would be awesome. I know we could play really well against Guam. I have no idea what the other territories can do. I mean, American Samoa probably got some good guys that probably normally play rugby, and
I'll tell you, that Puerto Rican baseball team though. We would get our asses whooped if we played the Puerto Rican baseball team.
Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty. The World Baseball Classic is starting up this week, and the Puerto Rican team looks really good.
But they would probably smoke our butts, no doubt about it. But I'll tell you what, our guys would get along with all of them. They'd be barbecuing afterwards and hanging out, and they would have a great time. If they're not already big Busch Light drinkers, we would make them Busch Light drinkers.
Yeah. And Puerto Rico's got some good food. They could teach us how to use some of our plantains a little bit better. Like I feel like Chamorro cuisine could, and vice versa. Like we could teach them some things as well. Like in Puerto Rico, they make mofongo, which is like smashed up plantains with grilled pork. It's absolutely delicious.
Oh, I bet you get plenty of it there in DC too. Like that's a great place for food.
Oh, yeah, DC's gotten better. Actually, I had Puerto Rican food this week. That's why it was sort of on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, food is good.
Hey, I know this is not at all why you called, but we've had some stuff going on here recently. After not hearing anything about deep sea mining forever, all of a sudden it comes back when Boehm drops in, and the folks from Interior came in and all that other stuff. And so it got back onto the stage where they briefed a bunch of folks from the local agencies and all that stuff. And then they said they're coming back to do more public meetings, not like this is. But can you get us up to date on some of this stuff? Maybe first of all, maybe a little feedback about that, but it sounds like they're trying to speed up the process too.
So the first thing I will do is I will invite everybody on Saipan to join the MICC next week. It's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's a virtual conference hosted by, and it's an NGO called, I think, Tano Tasi Zantozu. And on Tuesday morning, there's going to be a discussion about deep sea mining on the first day of the conference. So that's a great opportunity for people to learn more. It's if I don't have the website in front of me, but if you Google Tano Tasi Zantozu, you can see the link for the MICC conference. It's a free registration, and like this deep sea mining thing, like the thing that we did over Christmas, like that was just kind of a stage one, right? This is gonna when Boehm was out here, my understanding is that they said best case scenario, the actual deep sea mining is 5 to 10 years away. But what they're going to try to do in the next 2 years is they're going to try to sell the waters. So like if they're going to try to lease the waters now, and then that way, like these mining companies have access to the waters, and then they have like a certain number of years to actually do the deep sea mining. whether you're opposed to it or whether you support it, there is a federal process. The next step is the federal government is going to respond to the 60,000 comments and letters that were submitted, and that'll be published in a very long report. And along with that will come an area of ID or an area of identification where they're going to try to pinpoint the area that they think that they could lease out. That'll probably happen some point this year. America and Samoa is about half a step ahead of us. They already have their area of identification, and they've moved to the environmental review process, like NEPA. So the weird thing though is that while all of that is happening, BOEM is trying to change the rules in the middle of the game. So the current rules require certain amounts of engaging with the local governments, with the local governors, and with the local communities. And they're trying to change their own internal rules so that they wouldn't have to do that anymore. And there's a public comment period for that happening right now. And it's, we're just being overwhelmed with comment periods, whether it's the military or endangered species or this deep sea mining stuff. But they are considering streamlining some of those rules. And what that would allow them to do is they could, sometimes the NEPA process would take a year. If they streamline the new rules, they could do it in 2 weeks. And I imagine that is some of the stuff that they were talking about with our government. I think they were also talking about ideas for revenue sharing with the local government.
Well, we got to be in there. It's not like we got a special pass, but it was pretty open. And so, we talked to the legislators, we talked to the people, the facilitators and all that stuff, and they didn't have any problem with anybody being in there. So we streamed it to let people be able to find out what they were talking about, which was pretty cool. Now, they did have a little brief meeting with the governor when he first got back, but it was such a short one because it was he just got back. A real quick brief meeting with him, and then meeting with his folks and all the agencies that were here. So they actually got to talk and hear some questions from the biologists and the environmental experts here from the CNMI. So at least that happened. But I could tell you that not all of our folks were completely happy about that at all. Even the folks in the room weren't in love with what they were hearing. In fact, I heard some of the grumbling from them. It was like, this is all, a couple letters of the alphabet that put together means something else. So the thing is, hearing what they had to say, and I think that provides a little bit more of an opportunity to figure out how you can counter that.
Yeah. It just brings to the larger question of who has the final say in what happens in our local waters. And there are ways, there are co-management agreements and co-stewardship agreements, community benefits agreements. These are things that exist in other places in the United States, either with tribes or communities. And, I think for some folks back at home, they're just just leave it alone. Except what we're seeing is there's just a lot of interest in our waters, whether it's, for what I've done for the last 20 years, advocating for ocean protections. And I've done that with the Friends of the Mariana Trench, with the Mariana Trench. But there's also folks out of Hawaii who have advocated for endangered species habitat listings for corals and for turtles, for giant clams, and those were very controversial. And then during the Biden years, they were citing for potential offshore wind, which personally I think is a good thing, but some people have some questions about it. And now it's deep sea mining. And if you got an email from the Fisheries Council this week, there's even discussion about selling off our waters to foreign fishing vessels. How much of that is being driven by our local government and the local community? Not a lot of it, not enough of it. And then even for those of us who are engaged in individual things, I'm not engaged in the fisheries stuff. I'm more on the conservation side of things. Are those groups necessarily talking to each other? Do they like each other? These are big questions. And just one of the reasons why we're dealing with this deep sea mining is because some tech bros in California and some baby mind bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. think that this is a good idea. And, anyways, I'm just saying, I think this is like a learning moment for our community, where it's like, we need to be the ones setting the agenda, and we need to be getting out in front of some of these things so that we're not playing catch up to what the federal government is forcing down our throats. And that goes for like so many things, not just the ocean.
Yeah, we definitely are on a more reactionary pivot for everything. Like we're not involved in all this. It was funny. Bill Torres, one of the guys that we know out here, we love this guy. Great people. But he was saying something. It's like every time we see that the CNMI is in the federal spotlight, it's always something bad. Don't we have something positive that we can highlight whenever we're up there in DC or at that federal level?
That's not that's 90% true. There was a beautiful story on CBS about 500 sails, and that was I was so proud to watch that video. And I also think we've had some good conservation initiatives over the years, like the shark stuff. Like, remember when Rob Stewart came to the island and put all the kids in a movie? And then folks don't know. Like I asked you this on your show before. Name an underwater feature, and like everybody knows about the Mariana Trench. And it might be shocking, but people around the country actually know about the monument, and they pay attention to it. It's something to be proud of.
Yeah, and we have a very small visitor center, but it's there. It's real. It exists, and
their staff.
And their staff, yeah.
And there's a management plan.
I love it, but we don't have. It's not like we have a deep water submersible that we can go down.
Yeah,
there
not yet. We gotta work on that. And I, do you know why that is, Brad?
Because it's expensive and hard.
Colonialism, bro.
Oh, yes. There we go.
It's even though we have this big monument, we do not get the same amount of funding that a similar monument in Hawaii gets, and that's just, that's unfair, and it has to do with Hawaii has 2 senators, and so they get a lot of money for these kinds of things, and you got to put in. It's actually in Washington, D.C. right now. It's appropriations season, and I imagine Delegate Kim's team is very, very busy getting us money for healthcare and for education, but there's also conservation.
Yeah. Well, the conservation part is the thing that's on everybody's mind right now, especially with this, it's so interesting to me to see what the evolution of this thing is going to be and how long it's going to take and what's going to happen. But like really with the way things are going in the world now, there's a lot of craziness. I think that's an easy way to say it. I think a lot of people could say, yeah, it's crazy, but how is that going to affect us out here? And I think that, in times of like big war, not like little battles and stuff like that, unfortunately, environmentalism kind of gets put on the back burner. You could see the scars of that here and in Guam as well. And, hopefully that's, there's still an opportunity for stuff like that for the cooler heads.
Yeah, no, we're at war. I actually thought of you when because I know you served in that part of the world in the 90s. And some of the guys who lost their lives were just sitting on a base. But they were the communications guys. Like they weren't infantry. They weren't on the front lines. And it's just it's a scary time to be alive.
Well, the thing is with that, I know I had a little bit of guilt when I was in, because of like I didn't think we did enough, like where I was at, like to warrant some of the stuff, like pulling security on bases and all that stuff, like these roving patrols out in the sand and all that stuff. But then you see stuff like that, those guys, like you said, communications guys who are just hanging out on the base, they're not out there, saying, follow me. And all of a sudden that comes to them. It's tough. I know, but I'll tell you, we look at the whole thing, we brought this And this is the fight that we're bringing. And everybody who signed up, you know, it's a different perspective when you're in. I could tell you that it's one thing to say this like behind a microphone or hanging out, talking with friends or something like that. But I'll tell you, man, when you're in, you are in. Like you're ready. You're like, man, like when I was getting, and this sounds like crazy talk. I can hear myself saying it, and this is totally not who I am today, right? But when I was in, I was disappointed when our mission was going away. You know, like when all these things, like when you can get woken up in the middle of the night and be anywhere in the world in 18 hours, hitting the ground and ready to fight. That was pretty badass back then, right? Like I thought that was so awesome. And when our job became less of that and our mission started going away, I'm like, well, then why the hell do you want to be an infantryman? Like this is it, right? Yeah, it's back. And all those guys who might have been interested in that, now they're raring to go, and we'll see what happens. We had just fringe on this note, talking with the family the other night over dinner. We were talking about selective service and, you know, what would happen if that. I asked them if they knew what that was. They had no idea. And then talking to them about, you know, like the draft and what used to be. And it hasn't been around since Vietnam. But if we're going to end up getting on this kind of a war footing, you can only imagine that's, you know, something that would come down. And then that splits too, because some of the people who are out there about like, you know, they're saying that the young women should be included in that draft also, which, by the way, I think is terrible. I can't see my daughter being drafted, but I told them if that ever did happen, you guys need to go to college and you need to pick your service rather than wait around for that. You need to get that Texas Air National Guard that worked out for President Bush. W.
Or the bone spurs for Mr. Trump.
Oh yeah, I would have been a great general.
But yeah, the bone spurs. You know, Trump actually went to military high school. You ever watch some of the documentaries about him? He's an interesting character.
Wow, no kidding. Hey, but
he didn't go to military, just the military high school.
Nice. Hey, Saipan brings a lot of interesting people back and forth through the islands, and one of them who came through here was the descendant of Ulysses S. Grant. He was a doctor here, and I read a lot. I've been reading a bit. Since I learned how to read about Grant, and when I'm watching this guy make regular posts online, also super close, very similar in that style. Anyway, we're all over the place in this conversation in a good way, but I hope.
All right. Well, I just called to say hello, and I'll give the reporter your name, and if you have any other ideas of whose name I should forward. You can read it, and I'll send you that soccer link. You can follow up on that.
There's a guy who wears boots and bandanas. He might be interesting to talk about with that reporter.
Is he the guy who sues everyone?
Yes. That could be the name of the podcast, Susan Shoes. Like that.
Be careful, he's going to sue you.
I know. That's why, that's okay. There's nothing. You can have all of my nothing, 100% of it. It's great.
Oh, I just popped over to your Facebook. There's like a whole bunch of comments.
Oh yeah.
Wow, look at that. Look at these. Wow, 57 comments. I'm going to look at some of them.
Well, by the way, and if there's some that came in recently, they just didn't pop up on the screen. So,
okay.
So I missed. Well, hold on. Before you go, let me take a look just if I can pop any in there. And that's one of the things we talk to folks about too. When you're watching the show, please make comments and get involved with the show because it helps us. First of all, but
Saipan Neni says, "Don't mention him. He will appear."
Yeah, if you say his name 3 times, he's in there. Oh yeah, there are a lot of comments. I'm sorry. Dispensa, folks, I didn't see it for like the last 30 minutes. The last comments came in and were like 33 minutes ago. So I'm going to scroll back on them right now. Don't mention him up here. Just wait on Monday. He's going to ask to come on your show. I'll tell you what, that would be a pretty big show. Like people would definitely watch it.
They would definitely watch it.
Yep. But I would have to get myself a bandana if I did. And I'm okay with that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Also, Lucy says, thanks, Angelo, for the info. Yeah, and then he says, being drafted is actually wild, I bet. Then see, thanks for educating me. My ADHD can't digest the long meetings to catch all the info. Yeah, my gosh. That is wild. So dispense out to everybody who's been commenting. Hey, there's one on there that maybe you could provide a little bit more info. I know you mentioned it and you said the link and all that, but Tano Tasi Zantodu, Lucy was asking about that, and I think that would be helpful again.
Yeah, it's the you just said the name, and it's the MICC conference. And actually, I've got my computer here, and I can just look at it real quick. Let's see. It's the clicking. It's Marianas Terrestrial Conservation.org. It starts Tuesday at 7. It's just in the morning. And I'm actually speaking on Tuesday morning, and I'll be talking about Mariana Trench and deep sea mining. And then there's a panel with about 10 different people who were involved in the recent deep sea mining issue back on both. 2 of us are in Washington, D.C., and then everybody else is back at home.
Wow. Well,
and please join.
Yeah, that sounds. And what time is it again?
It starts at 7. I think I speak at 7:30, and then the panel will begin at like 8:15 in the morning.
That's local time here?
Yeah, local time. But if you go to the website, Marianas with an S, terrestrialconservation.org, you can, there's a schedule. It's a 6-day conference split up over 2 weeks. And they talk about all different types of topics. It's not just deep sea mining, it's all the other environmental issues happening in the islands. And it's virtual this year. Sometimes it's been in person, but it is there will be people participating from all across the country, which is why it kind of has that weird time. So it's kind of early for folks on Saipan, but that's because of the people like me who will be calling in at the end of the day.
Yeah, and conference. There we go. That is the Marianas Terrestrial Conservation.org. They could have a better website address. Like that is so long, but it works. Hey, who am I talking about? I got NMI News Service. So, but I got it. I got the link. We'll put it in the comments, by the way. And it's also, this is, it's a Marianas Press thing. For them.
I think so. Like last year, they live streamed it for the conference. Maybe they're live streaming the virtual conference too.
Yeah, it looks like it. See our coverage of the 2025 conference. I know they're part of those environmental organizations. So maybe that's it. All right. Cool.
I'm not that much involved in the organizing. They just asked me to speak. So.
Awesome. Well, we'll check it out. We'll look forward to it, and then we could broadcast that as well. Happy to get that out there while we're watching it. Awesome. Well, anything else? We're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon.
Well, since Friday, well, today's Thursday here. Since Friday, I've had to wear glasses all the time. That's my new thing. I am 47 years old, and I've always had great vision. But I no longer have good vision, and I need to wear glasses all the time. And I just thought I'd share that with you. Because you remember, like, in the 80s and 90s, there would be TV shows, and there'd be, like, that one character who was, like, 10, and they got glasses, and then they made fun of them at school. I feel like that as a 47-year-old man.
Wait.
I'm a nerd.
Hold on, I have a plan. Oh, hold on, I gotta add something to this because I think if I could do this faster, it would be funnier. And now I think I'm just losing it. I just want to put the quote on the screen from Angelo Villagomez. I no longer have great vision, and I think that in itself, you just got to clip it. I no longer have great vision. Is it the reading part or is it the far away part?
It's everything. So like it was a year ago, I went to the doctor and I was like, I'm having trouble reading. And like kind of like anything closer than my hand, I really couldn't see. So last year, it was just like, it was like plus 100, I think. Mm-hmm. And so, but I only needed it when I was reading. But now, like I got my eyes checked a couple of weeks ago and my eyes aren't even focused at the same distance anymore. And like, not only can I not see up close, but I also now have trouble seeing far away. So these are actually like bifocals. Like it's like I read, I have to look down. So I wear them all the time, and it's amazing how much easier it is to see the world when you have these glasses on. It's like, oh, I can read that. Oh, I can see. It's what a lovely invention.
All right,
they work.
I will share with you that we are on the same team for weak ass eyes, because that should be our new car club or something. Because
weak ass eyes.
So I've got the same thing where I've been wearing glasses since I was in 5th grade. And then,
okay, you're a nerd. You're a nerd. Did you have braces?
I did not have braces.
Oh, that would have been awesome. I would love to see that picture of Brad Dizala in glasses and braces.
Well, the glasses, I could tell you, my first pair of glasses were fancy because they were ET glasses. And that's not Entertainment Tonight. It actually had the bike and all that stuff. Well, anyway, but over
I always assumed your wife had terrible vision, because it's the only way to explain.
That does make sense.
Why she found you attractive.
Exactly. I don't disagree.
Terrible eyesight, that woman.
She no longer has great vision. So then but in the past 5 years, my reading glasses stuff has started, or the close-up stuff. So I got to the point in the past 6 months where I'm like, dang it. I can't fake it anymore with the phone and all that stuff. I got to wear these little reader glasses. And now when I'm out there doing coverage also, like, especially like if we're live streaming stuff, not with the phone or whatever. Yeah. But like when I'm using like the Sony cam, what we're using right here, when we go out, like when we did the funeral, we get like, when we could do a real setup, I need to have the reading glasses so I could see the screen, because the screen's pretty small, to make sure it's got a sharp, focus on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
During the funeral on Monday, I'm going like this and this and this and this. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to have to just wear the glasses, but I'm still playing soccer. So we have a soccer game tonight. So I'm like, I don't want to have to take them out, put them on, all that stuff tonight. That's it. So that's it. The Diaries of Old Guys, and that's it. So, there could be worse things.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, any plans on coming out and visiting again?
Actually, yeah. I am going to come out at some point this year. I haven't booked it yet. I'm going to Scotland in November
again.
But for this time for a science conference. I'm hosting a symposium on deep sea mining around the world in Scotland. So I have Bruno Mars tickets in May.
Wow, I didn't even know he was into deep sea mining.
Yeah. I've got a wedding in June and a wedding in September, so maybe July, August, I'll come out.
Wow, that would be awesome. All right, well, we're looking at going to the mainland in like June, July too. That's great timing. So, and that trip, by the way, we're looking at getting to New York, visiting the family, and then going to New York City. And while we're there, catch a couple shows, show the kids the city and all that other stuff, and then taking a train down to D.C. And so we can show them everything, take them on tours, and let them see some Chick-fil-A, all that stuff.
Yeah, fun fact. I took Brad Rizala to his first Chick-fil-A.
This is true. It's still the only time I've been to Chick-fil-A.
The only Chick-fil-A. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, you've been missing out.
We don't exactly have Chick-fil-A here. And I'm here more than anywhere else. So, but awesome. Hey, Landon Idley just walked in. He's going to talk a little weather with us before we get out of here. We were going to be out of here already because we're going to go do this walk and roll thing. And then we just got the email. I don't know if you're following the local news, but the commissioner was terminated, and then he just got reinstated. And so today he's going to give a press conference about the reinstatement at 10 o'clock. So that's breaking news for all you guys. We'll be there for it.
All right. Thanks, Brad. I'm going to hang up.
Thanks for the update. Have a great day.
You too, buddy.
All right. Take care. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Interesting stuff for us here in the Marianas. And we're going to be out of here to go do that walk. And we still might go out there and meet these guys. But the thing is, I got to be to DPS now for this 10 o'clock press conference. it's only going to be like the biggest story kicking right now. So we'll go from there. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Shiny smiles all around where happiness is found. It's the little things that make it true. Shiny smiles start with
They're friends and neighbors, sons, fathers. They're little league coaches and veterans. They're people who love this country. These are Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers. They are removing violent criminals from our streets and neighborhoods. It's dangerous and difficult work. But ICE has one mission: to make America a safer place to live. And that's what they're doing. This is law enforcement. This is ICE.
Has details.
That comes as criticism builds over immigration enforcement. Trump says he'll nominate Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin in her place. Trump made the announcement on social media Thursday, 2 days after Noam faced a grilling on Capitol Hill. Minnesota Democrat Amy Klobuchar asked Noam about comments she made immediately after the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good in her state.
How about specifically calling them domestic terrorists without any evidence of that?
Sir, ma'am, I did not call him a domestic terrorist. I said it appeared to be an incident of.
One particular point of scrutiny was a $220 million ad campaign featuring Noam that encouraged people in the country illegally to leave voluntarily. Noam told lawmakers that Trump was aware of the campaign in advance, but Trump disputed that in an interview with Reuters. Trump says he'll make Noam a special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Noam is the first cabinet secretary to leave during Trump's second term. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
The U.S. and Israel hammered Iran for a sixth day, while Tehran launched a fresh wave of attacks at Israel and U.S. forces in the region. Karen Shamas has a report.
Plumes of smoke were seen rising across various parts of Tehran on Thursday morning as US-Israeli airstrikes continued to pound the Iranian capital. The Islamic Republic threatened the United States would bitterly regret torpedoing an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean on Wednesday. Iran is launching more missiles at Israel, as Israel said it was moving to intercept them. The Israeli military has also confirmed its continuing strikes in Lebanon against the Iranian-backed Hezbollah militant group. I'm Karen Shamas.
President Trump says he should be involved in choosing Iran's next supreme leader. This after a son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei emerged as a frontrunner. On Wall Street, stocks sank after the price of oil spiked to its highest level since 2024. The Dow lost 784 points. This is AP News. Savannah Guthrie visited colleagues at NBC's Today Show for the first time since her mother Nancy went missing from her Arizona home more than a month ago. Carrie Antelfinger has details.
Photos taken from outside the studio show her hugging crew members, as well as moments where she wiped away tears. Today Show representatives said she thanked colleagues for their support since her 84-year-old mother Nancy Guthrie went missing. The family has made a series of video pleas for information.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
With their last one in February, offering a $1 million reward for information leading to her recovery.
We still believe that she can come home.
Show representatives say Savannah Guthrie does plan to return to the air at some point, but remains focused right now supporting her family and working to help bring Nancy home. Savannah Guthrie has been co-anchor of the NBC Morning Show since 2012. One of her former colleagues, Hoda Kotb, has returned to the show to fill in.
Again, that's the AP's Carrie Antelfinger reporting. It's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Rap brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, those kind of weird. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. Laughter and stories, come what may.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is Friday, and it is, hold on. Oh. It is 8:58 ITNE news time here in the Marianas on the NMI News Services. Good morning, Marianas. But look at that guy right there. That's not me. That is Landon Idlet from the National Weather Service. He is barnstorming, I believe is the term that they use today, going to all these different places. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Great to be back up here. It's been far too long.
Well, it's great to have you here. In fact, it was funny as we were getting set up this morning. I was listening in with your call with the Ray Gibson Show, our buddies over there too, and hearing the weather report even before it got here. So it was kind of neat. And then I know you were next door with our friends with KKMP, our next door neighbors. We're right here, and man, and now you're here. You're all over the place.
I'm here. Yeah, it's been a busy morning.
Did you travel here on the water spout?
You know, if I could, I would. I always anticipate if I see one of those things when I'm out in the water and I'm paddleboarding, I might would approach it, but don't do that. It's dangerous. Water spouts are indeed a water hazard, and they can cause problems, especially the larger, stronger ones. So always avoid them. They are a marine hazard, and treat them as such.
So you can call them names from afar, right?
Yeah, you can call them whatever you want.
But don't go up there and challenge them to a fight. Probably not going to work out all that great. So that's why I don't do that, and it's worked out for me so far.
Yeah, and the weather conditions were conducive to water spouts the other day. Not so much on Guam and Rota, where we had a little bit more wind, but the winds were very light, calm, and variable across Saipan the other day, and that was where you had your fair weather funnel clouds and I think a water spout if it touched the water surface. That's
saw that
typical.
photo?
Yeah, I saw the photos and some video, and that's typical with the type of weather pattern you had, but it's not typical for this time of the year because usually in March we have the trade winds just plowing through the region, and it's dry season, it's trade winds. But we've been in anything but dry season this year. I think we had 2 days of dry season now.
Yeah, there's and the worst part about that is that my view is not as good at the house, because there's all this greenery going on.
Yeah, it's a lot greener out here than it was probably a year ago, maybe 2 years ago even. But that's good. It mitigates our drought concerns and also our wildfire concerns for this time of year. We could still see those things start to emerge in some limited capacity in the coming months because we are still in dry season. Our driest months are March, April, and May across Saipan and Tinian. So keep that in the back of your mind, but the rainfall has been in our favor to keep things wet and green. And so there might be a time this weekend we're dealing with too much rainfall. We've seen that from time to time this year. And we do have the potential for some showers, locally heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, strong gusty winds, again with the shear line and a tropical disturbance coming up, merging over the Mariana Islands in the next several days. So it's going to be a interesting weekend. The winds have been picking up just a little bit from just 2 and 3 days ago. I'm seeing a little bit more chop on the waters out here. Mm-hmm. And we do have some wave action coming across the bays into the Crown Plaza and the Marianas Beach Resort beaches. So keep that in mind. It's going to get a little bit choppier and worse as we go into the weekend.
And then we saw there's this flood watch that's going on. But by the way, who's this new guy? Is it Joshua?
Joshua, yeah. He's one of our senior forecasters. He's been about 5 years on site. He was one of our journeyman forecasters, and he got promoted to senior forecaster about 6 months ago. So he's the one that he's got a good solid science game going on with his forecasting and analysis. And he's the one I have cover for me when I'm away and when Brandon's away. And so my brother, he's also off island this week in Kansas City at a national meeting for meteorologists in charge. And so my brother was just promoted to the head position, the MIC of the Weather Forecast Office on Guam. So
Yes.
he's kind of my boss, but not technically because we're twin brothers. And so as such, I report now to regional headquarters in Hawaii. So he is not my boss, but I had told him to enable my ways and my needs. And if he gets in my way, there's going to be problems.
I love it. It sounds like I can just see myself walking through the hall of the National Weather Service in Tizen and just hearing, I'm not looking in the doors or anything, but I can hear your voice saying, "You're not the boss of me," to your brother.
Well, I told him that if he gets in my way, I'm going to take things direct over his head to headquarters, and headquarters being mom and dad back home.
Is this the first person that you're working for that you can put in a headlock if you want to?
I think so. And I don't think there's any kind of a discrimination problems and stuff. I mean, you can't attack certain people because of skin, race, gender, and stuff. But I mean, when the guy looks like you and sounds like you and has the same last name as you, I don't think there's any kind of EEO settings that can prevent discrimination, or you can call it discrimination. We can fight and get away with it. And so, it's a new frontier.
I love it. Well, you're both great guys, doing a lot of great stuff. That was such great news to see the post that he's up there and that you guys are basically, running the show now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you ever think about, first of all, even working in the same place, I think is a really big win.
Yeah.
When you get to work with your family members and halfway across the world from where you're from and all that. And to be moving up at that level and running, I mean, is this something that you even thought about?
No, I never anticipated it, never planned it. When I went to college and even right after college, my plan was never to work for the Weather Service. I never desired it, never anticipated it, never planned to. But the Weather Service fell on my lap twice, and finally the second time it fell on my lap, I was like, okay, I might as well give it a try. And I had been in the Pacific and the Marshall Islands for a couple of years, was back in Oklahoma, and at that point I wanted to get back to the Pacific. I wanted to be back in the islands, get back into the lifestyle of the islands. Mm-hmm. And so when Guam fell in my lap the second time, I was like, okay, apparently I'm meant to be over there. And so I took a job in the Weather Service. Never planned to stay that long. I was on a 2-year contract and never planned to go in management. I never anticipated it in my wildest dreams. I didn't want it. But in 2020, when Chip Guard retired, mm-hmm. that was the job I desired because I really liked the nature of the warning coordination meteorologist, working with the public, working with partners and agencies outside of the office, the external engagements. And communications was my passion. That's where I wanted to be initially, was in the TV industry. And so taking the Weather Service and now putting it toward communications and collaboration, that was the perfect fit for me. And so when the meteorologist in charge position opened up this year, I applied for it, as did Brandon, because we wanted to make sure one of us got it, and we knew that an idlet would get the position most likely. I think the Weather Service would have been crazy to hire somebody from the States to take over a job in this region, because there needs to be a lot of background knowledge and experience in this region, because we're so special, so unique over here in the islands, that you can't just pull an outsider and put into that type of position. And so we wanted to make sure that one of us was in it. And so when I interviewed, I told him that where I am right now is my dream job. This is where I want to be, but if I'm selected, I'll do my best at it. But I said, quite frankly, Brandon is better suited for this role and responsibility. He has a good grasp of the operations internally. But I said, right now, where I am is where I want to be as far as working with the agencies and media and partners across the region. That's my passion. And so luckily, they accepted my reference for Brandon and selected him.
Well, it works great. I mean, we love all the work that you've been doing, and we love Chip Gard too. He was awesome at that role, and now seeing you move up to that, you've been on fire with all this stuff, and so many engagements, and not just with this, with other things in the community as well. So we're fans for sure, and we really appreciate it, all the stuff that you've been doing. And by the way, you got to pass that along. We did the L and the B for Landon and Brandon. If you love the weather, it's Landon. If you don't, blame Brandon.
If it's bad weather, blame Brandon.
Yes, that's it. That would be a great marketing thing if you guys were a TV tandem.
Yeah, when the weather's right, thank me. When it's wrong, blame Brandon.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we got really weird weather, a lot of rain. It just doesn't seem to stop. We've got this flood watch that came in today that we ended up getting. And now, what do we got this weekend? It looks like baseball is out.
Enjoy the weather today. It's going to be fine and fair, with the breezes starting to crank up just a little bit throughout the day, but we're going to see the showers start building in. And so we had a hydrologic outlook in effect for a couple days, and that was just a long-range outlook detailing the possibility and potential for heavy showers over a period of several days. That was upgraded in step to a flood watch this morning. And that means that flash flooding from heavy rainfall is possible. It doesn't mean it's occurring. It's not expected at this time, but it's possible. And that's based off of the time frame of the outlook. And so that's the next step up in escalation. And so that flash flood watch is in effect from Friday evening today through Tuesday morning.
Wow.
Which means that we could see showers, locally heavy rainfall starting tonight, continuing through Monday night. And so this is going to be several days of potentially heavy rainfall. And so some locations could see easily 5 to 10 inches of rain. There could be higher amounts depending on where the heavier bulk of showers sets up. And that's still dependent on where things merge with that tropical disturbance to our south and the shear line to the north. Small craft advisory is now in effect. That's for hazardous winds and seas over the coastal water. So not a good time to be out. What you're seeing out there on the waters, that's going to be cranking up as we go through the day today into tonight and into the weekend. We could see wind gusts similar to what we saw a couple weeks ago. We had 45 mile per hour winds gusting at the airport. Those are not sustained winds. Those are wind gusts. So we're going to be watching out for that this weekend. And a high surf advisory, that's for north-facing reefs for surf up to 10 feet along north-facing reefs. Those are accompanied with strong rip currents. So watch out if you're at the north side, any reefs and beaches, especially with strong currents. Just stay out of the water and those exposures. That could expand on toward the east side. So all the east side reefs and beaches is going to be choppy out there. Not a good time to be swimming. Grotto, for example, it was a washing machine for a couple days over the last several weeks. So watch out for that. But again, the potential for showers, locally heavy rainfall and flooding, that's going to be the theme through the weekend. So plan accordingly and watch things closely. Stay tuned to information from the Weather Service and Homeland Security, because we're going to be communicating full force through the weekend to make sure people are aware of what's happening as it happens.
Well, you know, it's tough because Sunday's our big walking day in the morning, and we've got this beach that we go to. And it's so great when you go there a lot, like our favorite beach, how it changes. It changes based on the weather and the rain. When the big storms come in, you know, it might eat away a lot, or the runoff will carve a lot out, or it'll bring a bunch of sand to elevate the beach, or it'll pad all the rocks that you normally walk on. And it just got back to what we consider as normal. But now with all this rain, I know there's going to be a river running right through it this weekend.
And that's the nature of nature. Will you be able to walk Sunday morning? It's reasonably, you could. We're not looking at nonstop rain for 72 hours. We're going to have episodic showers, but some of the showers could be widespread and long-lasting with heavy rainfall potential. But there could be also breaks in the showers where you can actually go outside and walk and stuff. There may be some peaks of sunshine, but the potential for those heavy showers is there. Regarding the 95W, that is rated sub-low for development by Joint Typhoon Warning Center. That means that we are watching this area of disturbed weather. And so they give it a designator 95W just to organize and collect data and observations on this area of disturbed weather for possible development. We're not looking at a typhoon scenario. We're not looking at a tropical storm scenario. And very likely, we're not even looking at a tropical depression. But we're looking at a disorganized area of showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, and heavy rainfall. That's going to be coming up into that shear line as the shear line is dropping southward. So these two features are going to be fighting each other for energy and potential. And so the shear line is going to prevent that disturbance from developing more organized and becoming something more significant. That's the good news. But these features will work together to give us those gusty winds, hazardous seas and surf, and significant rainfall potential. So that's where we want to focus on those impacts. And so regarding tropical disturbances and typhoons, all typhoons begin as disturbances, but not all disturbances become a typhoon. And so there's some anxiety and some stress when you see a number affixed to an area of weather. That's just a designator for observations and investigation from JTWC, not something to panic about. So focus on those impacts, and that's going to be gusty winds and heavy rainfall this weekend.
I think we get interested when there's a number assigned to it.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
And there's a lot of fanfare when you get a number attached to something, or especially a name attached to something. But what about these monsoon surges that don't have a name or number? What about these trade wind surges and these shear lines that don't have a name or number? We also need to focus on those very closely because they can pack significant impacts. And I call those no-name weather events. Those no-name weather events can pack a punch and ruin people's days, especially if you're caught out in those conditions, like in a boat.
Shoko's got a question. She runs a great tent rental business, DC Rentals. They do all kinds of great stuff in the community. She's saying, hey, and by the way, they're the ones who supported us with the veterans when they were handing out the vouchers for the laptops. If they didn't come up with those tents, which they donated for nothing, if they didn't do that, all these vets would have got soaked waiting in line. So thank you so much. Her question is, though, if you got a tent business, you want to know how many knots are we looking at? You know, what's the wind looking like for this weekend?
Yeah, that's going to be in flux. Right now, we're anticipating 20 to 25 mile per hour winds over the islands, but with gusts could be upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. And so it's best to know what the ratings are for the tents and canopies and tarps, what they can handle and how secured they are. But that's what our forecast is calling for right now. That could change. Depending on how things set up with that disturbance, the trough axis and the shear line. If that trough axis is overhead, your winds are going to be lighter because those winds are most light along that axis. But the stronger winds are north of that axis. And so that's where we're going to anticipate the strongest winds. Right now, a lot of the indicators have been putting the trough axis or maybe a weak circulation closer to Guam and Rota with the stronger winds to the north. That would mean a lot more wind potential. We're talking about probably 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained winds like we had 2 weeks ago, and gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour.
Wow.
If that trough axis is over Saipan and Tinian, the stronger winds would be up Anatahan and northward. But if it's near Guam and southward, those stronger winds would be across all the islands. So there's going to be a lot of variability, a lot of evolution. And that's why we're looking at the bigger picture of potential hazards and concerns. And then more locally, we're going to be seeing those things emerge through the weekend. And that also affects shower potential. Some indications, we're looking at possible monsoon conditions for Guam and Rota, with southwest gusty winds setting up over Guam and Rota probably early next week. But that, again, depends on where things line up with the disturbance and the shear line. And so best bet, plan on the showers, locally heavy rainfall, and gusty winds.
Well, it's not often where we get another regional weather update like a day after the previous regional, or the 2 days later. So that was eye-opening for us to see it. Like, that changed pretty quick.
Yeah. And I was talking to Joshua in the office over the last couple of days. Normally I would be putting those out, but since I'm up here and my brother's also on work travel, Joshua's been covering for me, and I said we need to double down on the communications on this event because we're looking at multiple hazards for a multi-day weather event. And so there's a lot of energy with these systems, a lot of possibilities and potentials with this system, and we need to make sure people are getting the communications before things happen. He was saying, well, it's just hard to know what to talk about and how to communicate it. Because there's so much uncertainty, and when there's uncertainty for us in the forecast business, which is every day, every night, there's more so for the people on the street. And so when there's that uncertainty for significant weather, we need to be communicating as much as possible and looking at the best likely scenarios of things to come, but then highlight the other possibilities of more extreme conditions. And that's that heavy rainfall. We could be seeing 5 to 10 inches of rainfall for most of the islands. Some places could see upwards of a foot of rain over the next 4 days. So that's significant rainfall. And so we're going to be communicating that, and we may double down with another supplemental outlook in the next day or two. I'll be going straight to the office once I get back to Guam tomorrow morning.
No kidding. Oh, geez. I just hit the button by mistake. But hey, while we've got you here, you do a whole bunch of other stuff in the community too that has nothing to do with weather. And the weather stuff is the stuff that most people know you for, but a lot of the community work that you do with Be Heartfelt and through Tower for Humanity, getting food for kids who need it. Can you tell us a little bit about it, and what's the latest on all the stuff you guys been doing?
Yeah, first off, the Tower for Humanity. I did reach out to some of our collaborating architects and engineers at the Nikken Seike architect firm from Tokyo. I visited their satellite office in Dubai last year before we built our One-Zabil Tower at the Ganya Shopping Center, just to make sure they're doing fine. And so they're doing fine with all the military strikes and missiles flying over the Middle East right now, but they're watching things closely, naturally. But we do have a project coming up, our big one this year, again, with Be Heartfelt in September, October. That's our annual project with Be Heartfelt. We're going to be hosting the Cans for Humanity food drive again, late September, early October, and in honor of the 25th anniversary of the terror attacks on the World Trade Center, we're going to be building 25-foot twin towers. Wow. So this is going to be our biggest project by a lot, because we did the twin towers in 2023 and they're scaled to 17 feet. We're going to scale it to 25 feet in honor of the 25th anniversary, and I just put in an order for about 8,000 more logs.
Wow.
And I don't think that's going to be enough, but I'm working up plans and blueprints and strategies for building to run some numbers to see if we have the inventory, and I might have to put in order for more blocks and ship them over. But that's going to start August 29th. We've already secured the Micronesia Mall. They've requested the project there, and they've secured it for 6 weeks. The tower is going to be built on August 29th. We plan to have it done by September 9th. In time for 9/11 and the memorials that will be taking place around the country. The towers will stand through September, and we hope to host with Homeland Security Guam the National Preparedness Month outreach fair with about 2 to 3 dozen agencies across the island. They'll be there at the center court of the Micronesia Mall on Saturday the 26th. That's in planning at the moment. And then we'll have the food drive effort the following weekend in early October. And so we're going to set a goal of, again, 25,000 cans of food. We might just bump it up to 30,000 because we've got a lot of interest already pouring in with different companies and entities that want to be a part of it. So we're going to revamp the food drive effort side of things, but also the tower. We're going to probably try to partner with Guam Police and Guam Fire to see how we can benefit them through a fundraiser or awareness cause, maybe job recruiting. And that'll be going on early September. So a lot of stuff going on. Will the tower stand? We hope so. But we have a small event at the Anderson Elementary School later this month for Month of the Military Child. And so we're going to probably build one of the towers in some smaller sense. I want to get the base laid out and then run some tests and build 2 different strategies and then run numbers off of both building strategies to see what works for stability, but then also for blocking numbers and inventory.
The numbers are going to be huge for the amount of blocks that you're going to get out of this. Right now, we've got it on the screen where folks can see. This is what you ended up doing in October. We were down there for a couple days worth of it, and real big thanks to Agana Shopping Center for being great hosts for it and everything too. But man, you had a great team as always. It's so well supported. People love this. It's a really cool thing, and you guys are a real cool fixture in Guam now.
It's funny because I was just several days in Rota, and half the questions I got asked about work-related stuff was tower-related.
Really?
And so to know that people are watching this from all over the islands, even when I was in the Marshall Islands back in January for some tsunami work, the PIO from the National Emergency Office, she's like, "Oh yeah, I share your post. I follow your Facebook page." I was like, "You do?" And she's like, "Yeah, your tower stuff. What's your next tower?" And I'm like, wow, people all over the place are seeing this. And so it's resonated, and it continues to blow my mind because we never expected what this tower project became in 2022 with the world record. And it's just taken a life of its own, and it keeps giving to the community. I think with all the charity projects, this has been 7 projects so far. Of the 7 projects and the benefits, I would estimate we've probably raised upwards of $200,000 just in donations and support for a variety of charities. And so all of our projects, we have 2 rules. When a venue requests a project, they provide the means to get up high if they want it tall, and a charity that we partner with. And so we do the Be Heartfelt food drive every year in September, but we're not linked to them specifically. We partner with multiple charities for different causes. And so for our fall project, that's a standing project every fall and ahead of the holiday months for children.
Well, you guys have gotten so good at doing it, not just building it and then taking it down, but the marketing of it, the promotion of it, the capturing and documenting all the work that you're doing. I mean, that's what you need for the world record stuff. But doing that, and then so people can see it and enjoy it, and in all the different projects, all the different buildings. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's tough, but communications is everything. And so we don't pay for communications. We don't pay for marketing and advertising, but communications is my passion for work. And so I've got a good network of communications with media and partners across the community. And it's just putting the information out. So when we did the world record in June 22, Patty Arroyo from the longtime news reporter on Guam, she's like, "I don't know how y'all did it, but for 2 weeks, y'all consumed the news broadcast." Everywhere she looked on broadcast news, radio, TV, newspaper, and social media, it was Tower for Humanity. And so that's where I like to have a very strong push of media and communications, because communications will make or break an organization, a government agency, a government office. You have to have a good communications game because when things get rocky and questionable, communications will make or break that organization. That goes for weather, forecasts, Homeland Security, FEMA. You have to have that strong communications game. And I think that's hurt a lot of entities, but it can save a lot of entities too. Even when things are rocky and uncertain, good comms game will smooth a lot of problems.
Well, it's working great for you. And so you get to focus on the things that your talents and your interests. Communications and building cool stuff. I mean, the weather too. Also, there's a little bit of weather mixed in there. This is just really great stuff. I love what you guys are doing. I'm a big fan of the projects, and just really value though what you bring not only to your community, but what you bring to the whole region when it comes to the weather stuff. Like it's such an important thing when things are happening, people hear the rumors, you just get to tell people what's really going on. And that is the communications angle that makes
And I think one thing I like to implement with the island community and stuff, we started this with the Ones That Build Tower last year when the National Emergency Management Office and FSM, I requested a handicraft. And I said, I want to get a handicraft made with a logo up there so we can put it on our tower. And they ended up getting it made, and then they gifted it to us.
Wow.
as a thank you to the region. And I was like, oh my gosh. So they made that ornament, and you saw that on the tower. And they also included some little wood carving turtles. And then somebody from Yap brought us a lei from Yap Island. And I was like, one thing I like to do is to highlight the beauty of the islands, the culture of the islands. So if anybody out there wants to donate something of Saipan or the CNMI, we'll put it on the tower. And I want that to be a permanent fixture of our projects moving forward, is that we can demonstrate things of the culture and the islands. We don't take any donations. It all goes to charity, but this is something that we will keep for our projects, handicrafts and mementos of the islands, just to showcase the culture in the region.
I should have thought about this sooner, but do you ever play, totally unrelated, soccer? You ever play?
No.
Too bad.
I'm horrible at ball sports.
Really?
Horrible. That's why I was rowing.
Nice. Well, how about Brandon?
He's even worse.
Oh, ringing endorsement.
That's why he's always running. He's running away from things. When it comes to me, I'm weight training. He's running. I'm fight. He's flight.
Nice. There you go. Perfect tag team. We got a soccer game tonight at 6 o'clock. That is not breaking news, but we are going to be breaking up the broadcast. We ran a little bit longer today. We're actually going to do a shorter show, funny enough. I know we're not going to be able to see these awesome people coming down the street because we're going to be heading over to that press conference, but we are going to be live. Oh, what do you got for us? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, good. But we're going to be live here again. Thank you, Angelo, for that WhatsApp comment that I don't need to read. I could. It's hilarious. But
now you have me thinking about that shot down here under the desk a couple months ago.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this is hilarious. But we are going to be live again in about 30 minutes from the commissioners. DPS Commissioners Conference Room. We're going to hear from Commissioner Marianas, who has been reinstated as of yesterday morning, and he's going to talk about, he's going to field some questions and talk about whatever he's got. Any shout outs before we head out?
Everybody out in the CNMI, it's great to be up here. Great to see everybody, Homeland Security especially, great partners, and everyone in the media industry up here, because y'all are our voice to get stuff out to the public. So shout out to everybody, and I can't wait to be back up here with my new boss. I plan to be back up here once or twice more this year.
With my new boss, who's not the boss of you.
That's exactly it.
Let's just make sure we keep that out
He's
there.
He's going to be my enabler, or else.
Awesome. All right. Well, we do have a new update from the Associated Press, so we're going to get you guys the latest news right now. And after that, we're going to be out here. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you in 30 minutes from DPS Conference Room. Thanks, Landon. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Homeland Security's Kristi Noem is the first cabinet secretary of President Trump's second term to be fired. Haya Panjwani reports it comes amid growing criticism of her leadership.
Just this week, Kristi Noem faced scathing bipartisan criticism on Capitol Hill over her handling of the administration's immigration crackdown and disaster response. On social media, the president says he'll nominate GOP Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to succeed Noem, and he's hoping to bridge a stark divide with Democrats.
I want to try to earn their support, and I'm going to be very open and honest with them.
The president's announcement came minutes before Noem addressed law enforcement officers in Nashville and did not mention her firing. Instead,
I will forward those grant opportunities to all of you,
seemingly suggesting she'd stay on the job. Top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries is glad she won't.
Kristi Noem is gone. Good riddance.
The president's tabbing her as a special envoy for his new Western Hemisphere security initiative. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
President Trump says he should be involved in choosing Iran's next supreme leader. In an interview with Axios, he ruled out Mujtaba Khamenei, the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Israel continue to hammer Iran, which kept up retaliatory attacks. And Karen Shamas reports Israel's also taking aim at Hezbollah militants in Lebanon.
Beirut streets were gridlocked after the Israeli military issued a mass evacuation warning for all of the city's southern suburbs, as Israel apparently signaled plans for heavy bombardment of the area. Hadi Kakour, who was fleeing, said he was not sure that leaving would guarantee his safety. He told the AP, "We don't put anything past them. They'll strike us no matter where we go." Nearly 84,000 people had already been displaced since Israel's renewed airstrikes on Lebanon began. Meanwhile, the UN Refugee Agency has said at least 38,000 people have crossed from Lebanon into Syria. I'm Karen Shamas.
This is AP News. Seth Sutel now with the AP Markets Report.
Stocks sank on Wall Street after the price of oil spiked to its highest level since 2024. The S&P 500 fell 0.6% Thursday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended with a loss of 784 points. That's about 1.6%. The Dow had been down more than 1,100 points. The Nasdaq Composite slipped 0.3%. Oil prices gave back some of their big gains late in the day. That helped stocks in the U.S. moderate their losses. Treasury yields rose in the bond market as bond investors got a bit more worried about inflation. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note rose to 4.14%. Seth Sutel, New York.
In weekly reports, the number of people filing claims for unemployment benefits was unchanged, while the average on a 30-year mortgage edged back up to 6%, coming off its lowest level in 3.5 years. There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.